Greetings. I am Fair None, President and founder and only member of the Universal Intelligence Agency, a one-man organization, and forever this way it shall remain. I'd like to thank you for tuning into my vlog. This is a part of an ongoing commentary about the world we live in and what we, the good people of the world who have chosen to be that way on our own, to make sure that our collective existences become better for ourselves and for the benefit of all of posterity. I have a lot more to say on the subject, as you'll soon come to know, but first, before I go any further, a few acknowledgments. One, shout out to the Most High, Mother and Father of all of creation, who sustains, coddles, nurtures, and suckles us all. Thank you for establishing the law, universal law, the understanding of which allows for the transformation of humankind, like alchemy, to become the master or mistress of his or her own destiny. It is the comprehension of these things that enable a person to fully appreciate his or her journey of self-actualization, where we as individuals who seek to become our own best versions can do so. It facilitates the process by which the rough ashlar becomes the perfect ashlar, the smooth stone that is supposed to be the intended goal of every Freemason. You do not have to be initiated into the ranks of Freemasonry to achieve enlightenment. You can achieve self-mastery on your own through the application of what has already been established for you by your mother and father creators of all things. These laws are fixed and constant. You can depend on them, totally unlike the laws of man. Similar to the laws of man, ignorance of such laws are no excuse. Universal law, although it does deal with punishment and reward in the same way that the law of man does to some degree, universal law as it suggests, universal. It applies to everyone and everything. No one punishes you under universal law. You punish or reward yourselves by way of your very own actions under universal law. Meaning, a person is judged and therefore punished by sealing his or her own fate according to their actions. They're rewarded or whatever the instant they commit an act in accordance to the law or in transgression of it. So I thank my creator or creators for selecting me as one of your pupils to teach this information so that I can teach it to others, so that they could try to become their own best versions as well. 2, shout out to Black Diamond Productions on the internet. They are the producers of this hard-hitting ass instrumental track that I have playing in the background. The music is not mine, so if you want instrumentals like this one produced for your track, I suggest you hit them up. They could be found on YouTube. Just enter Black Diamond Music Productions in the search. I am using this for education and entertainment purposes. I claim for fair use, and I thank Black Diamond in advance for letting me use this beat. So, I'm just going to jump into this one right now. No fluff whatsoever. I've already made my acknowledgments. Now it's time for business. The title of this correspondence is How to Start an Honest Resolution and Rebuild Our World at the Same Time, Part 2. Resolution is the subtitle. When I say that I'm a resolutionary, I don't think anyone knows what that means. I explained it in my last production to the best of my ability, but that's not all there is to it. I am a rebel, but not just any rebel though. I'm a rebel with a cause. Do you think that I would just be wilding out here like this if I didn't have a purpose? I am not a renegade. Trust me, everything is fully thought out and calculated. All the risks have been evaluated. It is what it is. Let me explain a little bit more about me first so that you can know where I'm coming from before I go any further. Please understand that I am not delusional and that everything that I'm saying about myself is real, and I'm not trying to impress anyone. And while many of you just dream about rebellion, I am living this every day, and I have been for some time. I'm presently living each day like it's my last, so I make the best of it. When I wake up and lay my head down to rest every day, I thank the mother and father of all creation for everything that they've done for me, seen and unseen. I know that my good health is a blessing and that I don't have to have it yet. It was given to me a long time ago and sustained by my mother and father of all creation. So I cherish it. I was given lots of talents, like the gift of being able to see things for what they are, and I've acquired a very healthy appetite for knowledge since I've been here on this planet. These gifts could have easily been shared with someone else. Therefore, I give thanks again to my mother and father for giving them to me. And I pledge that every day that I'm blessed with these and many other gifts, I will use them in a manner best suited for their respective possessions. You know what they say, use it or lose it. They also say that a mind is a powerful thing to waste, and with great power comes great responsibility. And one of the greatest challenges that I face is my own ego. My challenge in this regard is to leave ego out of the equation in my everyday dealings. And if you've ever heard me speak before, if you've ever interacted with me, or if you're listening to me now, you know that my ego is huge. If you're one of those people who's still listening to me, don't go judging me, because chances are your ego is huge too. The difference between you and me may be that I know what my problem is and that I'm beginning to take steps to cure it. Are you? I want to cure my problem because of the path that I've taken, and because of the way that I have resolved that I would take it. Do you want to fix your ego problem? Do you even know that you have one? If you don't know that you have one, here, let me help you. You do. I don't see how you cannot, living in contemporary society. If you are one of those people thinking that you are functioning normally in this society, then perhaps you are one of the sickest of us all. Let's just get real here, shall we? You ain't bullshitting anybody right here, at least not me. Now to share some of my core grounding principles with you. I fear no man and I fear no situation. Sure, there are potential people and situations that I find extremely undesirable to be in the presence of or to be in. Now, you know that's bullshit. Let me correct myself now because I'm lying. Now that I think about it, I could think about some pretty fearful people to meet and situations to be in that I've either met or been in, or people that I could meet and situations that I could be in. Yet I don't let that rule me. I deal with the power of the mind and the will. So whatever happens may just happen. I accept the consequences of whatever situation that I may have attracted by way of my conscious actions. I only exist for three things. I modified the list from two recently. One, my immediate family, and two, to make this world a better place to help make this world a better place by first and foremost not being a part of the problem. And three, to continually work in the interest of the edification of the African family through the use of the benefit of knowledge or whatever other positive benefit at my disposal, which, believe it or not, encompasses all people of the earth because they all come from us. The next thing you should know about me is that I proselytize before no one. If the Almighty definitively came before me, I imagine that I would know who he, she, or they are, and I wouldn't have to ask. They wouldn't have to ask. I would get to bowing immediately. But not to none of y'all motherfuckers. So hell's no. I willingly obey no man except as a calculated measure. Sometimes I find myself in situations where it's not best to be rigid and stern. Being practical works best in those situations. I have to be fluid like water to get to the next level. Sometimes I might have to suffer a few indignities in the process, as long as I maintain my identity to get through whatever I may be going through, just so that I may live another day to continue fighting for my cause without too much compromise. I'm good. If I do have to compromise, then I have to accept that in life I'm going to have to take a few losses. Everyone does. In my lifetime, I've taken way more than a few. Believe me, I'm used to it. Next, I am sovereign, which means that I am supreme or independent of any authority outside of myself. We all are. I just have the good sense and presence of mind to claim this status and defend it against all who challenges it. and that I'm comfortable alone in this regard because the only one who could claim the rights of a sovereign for that sovereign is that sovereign, who according to law is the belligerent claimant in person. No one else, and rightly so. This is how the universe was set up. I am self-reliant, and I believe in self-reliance. I would receive charity from a sincere benefactor in a second for a specific cause, or in the case that I am disabled and I cannot do any better, or as to assist me in helping me do what I do. But I realize that if I am given a gift, although it may appear to be a gift, in the world we live in today, everything comes at a price. Therefore, I indulge only if there's clarity of the situation. No sellout. I know that when I do eventually begin to solicit financial support from others to continue with my efforts to do what I'm presently doing, I will be expected to perform in as close to a manner as the supporter wishes me to behave. This is the problem inherently manufactured in the revolutionary trade. Hence, to avoid any confusion, I am informing anyone who does choose to support me to know that when they support me, they are doing it at their own risk. I will stay consistent with my stated goals, but I will do things the way that I want to do it. Okay? Keeping it honest, you know? So don't think that you could just buy me with some big donation. My integrity cannot be purchased. I will take your money and expose the fuck out of you if you try. In other words, I will fucking rob you. Fuck out of here. Next, you should know that I am not a nice guy. I mean, I am, but hear me out. To do what I set out to do, I cannot always be nice, so don't expect that. I'm known for bad behavior in the past, getting to where I am right now, but not for hurting anyone that does not deserve it. I love people, all people. I might not like some of their ways, but generally to an extent, I like or love people, but I won't let them hurt me or anyone who it is my duty to protect. Now, if we disagree, the most that I'm likely to do is to curse your ass out and walk away and never deal with you again if I could help it. In the spirit of resolution, I am now always open to the offer of peace with those who make themselves my enemy, who haven't carried it too far, their transgressions too far. Sorry, I'm kind of a hothead sometimes, and I haven't currently matured to the point that I would like to, but I'm working on it. So don't get it twisted, y'all. This ain't no game. This shit is really happening. I can't move any other way than hard in my expressions of philosophy. But in my everyday dealings with people, unless you're a real asshole, I think that the average person would find me quite agreeable and easy to get along with, no matter who you are. If you prove to be an asshole, then I have no regard for you. Fuck your feelings, fuck my feelings in the resolutionary context, when expressing truth. Let's deal with some truth here, shall we? I am a motherfucking honey badger. Look it up on Google. Google the honey badger. I don't give a fuck, and I'm getting worse, and I like it. I'm a nice person to those who are nice to me. I prefer niceness, and personally, I'm all about niceness. But more often than not, the people of this world are not nice. And I gotta admit that I cannot tell in advance, in all cases, what to expect from people. I'm not immediately physically aggressive because I do not believe in that, except in those instances where I or someone I deeply care for are violated and no appropriate, peaceful remedy is offered or could be sought after. My immediate response, in most cases, is a call for cure and remedy, and if my terms are not met, then I can guarantee you that I will find a remedy of my own, regardless of any so-called system that exists. I am sovereign, which means that I am king of my realm as it pertains to me, not over you, and the same goes for you if you were only able to see things the way that I do. I am in my realm. I am in my realm, wherever I find myself, and so are you. I believe in and I practice showing respect to all in advance, and I will respect anyone in advance. I expect the favor to be returned in kind. We are all independent of any authority outside of ourselves unless you choose to subjugate yourselves to the authority of others, in which case has nothing to do with me. You cannot and should not expect me to bow down and serve the God that you serve. I will not serve a corporation. The government is a dead legal fiction, a creation of the mind. Examine the root. Govern, to control, meant mind. Put those two words together, that's made from those Latin roots. Government equals mind control. Do you trust the government? Do you trust any government? If you do, then I'm sorry to inform you that you are a fool. If you support government, then you support death. Period. The statistics are in on government, and I would like to focus on one key thing in particular in regards to it. Death by government, which is called democide. According to the University of Hawaii System website, government accounts for more than 262 million deaths worldwide since 1900 and the year 2000. These are 9 non-military deaths, mind you. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. This democide killed 6 more people than who died in combat in all the foreign and internal wars of the 20th century. So please understand that any so-called good thing anyone has to say about government will fall on deaf ears when it comes to me. So do yourselves a favor and save it, because I cannot even understand you. The United States government and all other governments throughout the world are corporations and nothing more. The only rights that they have to govern us are the ones that those of us who acknowledge their power choose to give them. They have not been given any authority over me, and my mother and father did not give it to them either. So the question remains, where else do they get their power from except from the people who are afraid of them? You see, me, I'm not afraid of them. I would rather die than live the way that they want me to. Patrick Henry syndrome. Chances are, the way things are going, they will probably make that happen for me. Eventually, given the course that I'm on. But I'm not at all worried about that. Like I said, I live each day like it was my last, and I'm grateful for another day whenever I get one, and I'm determined to make the most of every day that I get from now on. If that day ever does come, to which I am killed because of the beliefs that I have or the way that I've lived my life, I can only say that it will be a glorious death for me, no matter how it occurs, because I know that I've earned some really great karma during the time that I've spent on this plane. And the next time I come back here, life will be really great for me because of the actions that I've earned in the universe due to my actions, and the place that I've earned in the universe due to my actions in this lifetime. I will not be worrying about it until then. And I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk, and I do things my way, regardless of what anyone thinks. That is what a divergent is, and I am a divergent, a rebel with causes, sort of like a nigger with attitude, only I'm not a nigger. Here's some things that you need to consider whenever any of you are judging me, and you might think that I'm fucked up or acting irrationally for some reason. What I am doing here is a pioneering effort, and I do things, again, completely different from other people, using methodology from my proven catalog of historical successes in dealing with people. Please know in the bottom of your heart, like I do, that I do not give a fuck what you think about me, only if I feel that you're correct. In those cases, I will humble myself and make the appropriate changes to my methodology. Since I'm doing what I'm doing on my own and I have no mentors or anyone who is more experienced than me to guide me through this that I trust, I have to trust that the decisions that I make for myself are correct until someone definitively shows me otherwise. I expect to make many mistakes like the ones that I've been making all along. And in any case, ultimately, right, when it all comes down to it, the liability and responsibilities that come with my actions are all mine, along with the rewards. Now let's take a look at what the world is facing and what my why could possibly be regarding the way that I've chosen to live my life. Where do I start? Here's a good place. How many good governmental armed conflicts are there in the world right now? It's going to be spreading like wildfire, confusion, order out of chaos. According to Wikipedia, last updated May 22nd, 2017, when I actually wrote this, there are 44 countries with armed conflicts in the world as we speak. And even worse, the strongest nations of the earth are positioning themselves for another all-out global mass sacrifice that goes by the name of World War III. Now, for the rest of this correspondence, while I'm speaking to you, I want you to keep this in the back of your minds. In fact, if you ever get an opportunity to hear me explain my thoughts on many matters again, know that I'm operating from the following standpoint as my why for what I am doing. The point is, somebody, somewhere is profiting from all this death and destruction all over the world. Some call it the demiurge. Some call it the devil or Lucifer. Some call it the shaitan. I call it a coherent negative force that has enmity and hatred for the earth and every one of her inhabitants, which is evidenced by the results of this entity's presence. It is an entity that feeds on human conflict and dissension. This does not just apply to war. There's micro and macro levels of this shit. The conflict could be as small as relationships between two people. And what I'm about to explain to you is how we all individually conflict to the conflict or the discord or disunity or conflict between us in the world. Now, this entity could be classified as a negative intelligence, like the FBI, CIA, Mossad, or KGB. Those, just to help you understand it a little bit better. Those entities who in their individuals' organized capacities do everything they could in a coordinated effort to identify, monitor, neutralize, and, if possible, destroy any threat to the establishment they represent. But even these agencies that I just mentioned could not compare to the scope and magnitude of the powers that I am describing here. These agencies that I mentioned here are merely the pawns, some of the things used to back this colossal power that I'm alluding to here. So I'm just using them as an example to explain what I'm really saying here. What am I really saying? I'm saying that there's something that in some belief systems that is called an evil whisperer. Hear me out. Have you ever heard it? I do. I hear it all the time, and I know you do too. I know that many of you want to shut me off now because I said that I hear voices. That's right, I hear voices, and I know you hear them too. That's okay with me though. If you want to shut me off, I could explain my shit though. So if you stick around a little bit, you just might agree with what I'm saying. You never know. When I say I hear voices, I mean voices like the one that when I'm at a point of spiritual weakness says to me, "You gonna let that nigga diss you like that, man? I thought I was dealing with fear none. You ain't fear none, not if you're gonna go around letting niggas diss you like that." Now, if I was a weaker, less experienced person, less spiritual, and my spirit guides who follow me everywhere and whisper in my other ear didn't do so, then maybe I would fall for it. Sometimes I actually do. Brothers, I know you know this one. You see a girl who totally appeals to you in every way. Just to hear her voice and see her face, or even to think of her, gives you butterflies. You know that you could hit it. The problem is that you've given your heart to another. And if you indulge, you're going to cause problems in your relationship. You know this. And whether the relationship is good or bad, if you have a contract with the person you share your life with and you want to live with honor, you know in your heart that you should not partake in what is being presented to you, if for no other reason that it is not honorable. I find as humans, we like what we like and we want what we want and we want to do what we want to do when we want to do it. And at those times when the evil whisperer is whispering in our ears, all we want to hear are the things that he's saying. We forget about the spirit guide who's whispering in the other ear trying to protect us. The spirit guide is there to protect us from the bad decisions that we make for ourselves. The choice is ours and only ours as individuals. And if we want to experience the true happiness that this world has to offer in this lifetime or any other, we have to live with honor. Until recently, I was particularly vulnerable to the whisperings of the evil one in that regard that I'm speaking. I still am to some extent, and with goals as lofty as mine, I expect to be constantly tested. Universal law is based on honor and tribute. By tribute, I mean you have to pay. You have to pay somebody. There's nothing in this universe that is free. Get that out of your mind right now, if that's what you're thinking. All great things are worth having or worth paying for. You might, in an artificial existence like this one that we are in, have to pay cash. You might have to pay respect, but you have to pay something to somebody, to the universe. According to what I know, you must also pay tribute by way of honor in all your dealings, if you wish to be successful at whatever it is you're dealing with. The way I interpret it, you can either honor that which is universally considered bad or evil, and you will receive your just due from those forces, whatever it is, and similarly, you could live with true honor, coupled with knowledge of self, and the keys to everything good that this universe has to offer will open up to you because you are entitled. It is your inheritance, your birthright. Also because you are in alignment with the universe. And all you have to do is keep on being you, and you will continue to receive the blessings of the universe. Now, getting back to hitting that ass when you know that you could, brothers, especially when you know that you could get away with it. How was it? Are you glad that you did it? She will probably never find out about it, right? Whether she does or she doesn't is not important to me, according to what I'm about to share with you right now. And you can think what you want about me. I'm okay with that. How you react is your business. I'm just trying to share some plain, simple insight with you because I know that most of you ain't trying to hear what I'm about to say anyway. Remember, the whole reason that I'm speaking to you today is about resolution. And sometimes you could resolve a conflict by not even getting into it in the first place. This requires focus and discipline, which a lot of you do not have. I mean, that you have it, you just chose to let it lie dormant within you. Sometimes all anyone needs is a little paradigm shift, a why, to help bring people back into focus. So here, let me help you while helping myself at the same time. Because although I'm here talking about it, like I said, I still have not mastered this particular weakness. Maybe we could work on this problem together. I did say that this was an honest resolution, didn't I? Now, if you're continuously violating the contract between you and the person closest to you that you share your life with, you have no honor. Ladies, that goes for you too. When we are doing these things, we are causing conflict in the world, and whether we get caught by anyone or not, there is always one person who will know that you are a motherfucking fake, and that's the person looking back at you in the mirror every day. And if for the sake of constant instant temporary gratification, you're willing to possibly risk it all, like in some cases, destroy your family and any trust that you may have built, if you enjoy being respected and knowing what you're about to do is wrong, and you still bow down to your passions, then you're a sucker and you're a fake, and you should never complain about fake niggas again, because until you're ready to cease and desist from your behavior. And if, on the other hand, there's no contract and you have not deceived anyone in any way, but merely pursued your passions as you wished, in my opinion, there's no harm done. What does this say about me? Well, I've been known to dabble a little bit here and there for most of my relationship, and I never lied when I was confronted. But there shouldn't have been anything to lie about in the first place. We got to be serious out here, brothers. You know what I'm saying? And it took a while for me to get that way. Eventually, I decided to do the most practical thing that would give the woman that I share my life with more confidence in the stability of her future with me, because I know that's what her insecurity with me was all about anyway. As a man, I had to do what it takes to ensure the stability and therefore the well-being of my family. I had to decide to ignore the distractions and focus on what's real. The stakes are high, and I do not want my children to end up like a lot of other children out there with only a mother or a father, but not a mother and a father to rear them up correctly. And if I do anything to threaten the feelings of security of the mother of my children, then guess what? The dreams of the stability that I have for my family will go down the drain in time. I don't know how long it would take, but that's what would eventually happen. Now, if it were to happen for some other reason, I could deal with it, but I could not be able to deal with this circumstance if it were my fault. Now, ever since I've changed my ways and begin to live a more wholesome, karma-free lifestyle with everyone, the keys of the universe have opened up to me. I've begun to see things more clearly, and my vision has improved. I am now tethered to the Bluetooth broadcast of the universe. I've begun to discover that I don't even need the keys to the universe anymore, because doors are flying open for me upon my approach as I enter doorways without effort. Yesterday, well, when I wrote this communication here, yesterday I had an encounter with a government employee. At first, when I approached her cheerfully and greeted her warmly, her response toward me was cold and aggressive. I continued to explain myself in the best way that I could, and it seemed like the more that I did, the more I said, the more I began to anger her. She was disrespectful to me, so disrespectful to me that I began to think that she might know me from somewhere, and that was the reason for me being treated in the way that I was being treated. As the hothead that I'm usually known for being, I paused and considered cursing her out. Then I realized that I am now a resolutionary and that maybe I ought to handle things a little differently this time. So I killed her with kindness and respect. And guess what? I don't know what happened. Maybe she realized that I didn't do anything to her, and that despite how I was being treated, that I still treated her with respect and care. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, I was dealing with a completely different person who was courteous and respectful and helpful. She even went out of her way to explain some things to me that she didn't have to, and I was awestricken. Is this how it works when you behave this way? What if I behave this way all the time? What results would I get? I have so many questions, I gotta admit. I'm so confused right now about this, and I'm gonna run some tests to see what happens. I may be onto something here. I don't know, because usually I'm used to flipping, and I get results like that too. I get results. I kick down doors and shit like that. And, if I have to yell at a motherfucker, I eventually get my way. But that was the revolutionary in me, And now, as a resolutionary and somebody who wants to grow, I'm trying different options now. I don't see the sustainability in that other approach. You can't yell at it. You can't kick everybody's ass. I got some skills and shit, but I'm only 185 pounds. This motherfucker much bigger, much stronger, whatever. It's like your children. You're gonna have to learn to talk to them motherfuckers sometime. You ain't always gonna be able to beat them, So in that instance that I was interacting with the employee, I realized that this was my test, that the universe was testing me again. Now, would I be weak and emotionally piss my pants, as my wife always says, or will I rise above the common standards and try to resolve the conflict? I chose to resolve the conflict and show the evil whisperer that he was wrong about me, and validate the efforts of my spirit guide at the same time, who was whispering in my other ear. I chose to deny the evil whisperer of what he wants. I know that he feeds on human conflict and discord, and I know that I pissed the evil whisperer off that day, and I know that he and his colleagues vowed to return at a time when I'm more vulnerable. And like Gandalf the gray-haired wizard of the classic movie series called Lord of the Rings, I stand guard, and they shall not pass. I just provided two hypothetical examples of my being tempted by the evil whisperer. One in which my ego was stimulated by being which would work quite encouraged to fight, which would work quite well for that coherent negative force that serves humanity. And the other example was when again the individual presented with a choice to conduct his or herself with honor, does so or does not. If he or she does not, the purpose, the purposes of that coherent negative force that hates humanity is served quite well. If not, there's always tomorrow. They'll try again. You see, whenever we practice deceit, harbor hatred, cheat others, and otherwise live our lives with a certain amount of dishonor, we make it possible for those negative entities that bring the negative behaviors practiced against us by virtue of our own actions into existence. Simple mathematics. Universal Law 101. Law of attraction and cause and the law of cause and effect. Now, if you do not want to live with roaches, you have to clean yourselves up and clean up the environment that you're living in. Honor your contracts that you have with others or cancel them. Remember that every time you commit a wicked or deceitful act, you're just adding to the amount of wicked or deceitful acts that are being committed in the world. Everywhere. You think you're the only one, and when that multiplies, that's why the world is the way that it is. Wickedness seems to be contagious, and it is now prevailing in the world, and it has been for some time. And right now, there's no balance. There's no balance. There's just one big evil spiritual soup out there. And believe it or not, even though it seems far-fetched, the masses of us could tip the balance over from evil to good by virtue of our own individual efforts, because it is we as individuals that unwittingly that give these evil entities their power. And just as we give it to them unwittingly, we could consciously take it all away from them. And my point in every example that I just shared with you in all the last few minutes is that this existence of ours is more spiritual than anything else. Our challenges are just the same. If we lose every spiritual battle that we encounter, mostly by not being aware of what is happening every single time there's conflict among human beings, we ultimately lose the war that is being waged against us all. And if you're not ready to stand up and be counted and work full time in the interest of resolving the conflicts that you personally have in the best way that you could, and if you're not willing to finally, in the wake of all the information that is available to you about the fate that awaits us, if there's not a collective, spiritual, moral, and intellectual, and whatever other way needed for humanity to become who we are meant to be, then you are a sucker. You are that sucker and that motherfucking faker that I was talking about a little while ago, that is forced to look at his or herself in the mirror every day and admit to themselves that they are what I just said that they are. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm the hardest person to face in the world, next to my children. So if you are that person that I just spoke about, never talk shit about any politician, no matter what they have done. Not Trump, not Obama, nobody. After all, you ain't shit either. You're just as much as a part of the problem as they are. Got it? Aries, the god of war, feeds upon human conflict. Every battle that we fight amongst ourselves makes him stronger. Should we give him what he wants, or should we fight back by bringing the battle to whom it truly belongs? I am personally inclined to think the latter. I did not mean to go as deep as I did in the matters that I did. I originally planned to do something else. I will soon hit the 6,000 word mark in this correspondence, leaving me very little time to talk about what I really wanted to talk about today. Anyway, I'm glad that I did. This is just a little taste of many more to come. I must end now. to prepare my next correspondence, and you could rest assured until then, I will be right back at you soon. I must end now, and this has been another genuine, fear none, everlasting production. The president, founder, and only member of the Universal Intelligence Agency. And this and forever, this way it shall remain. Until next time, I leave you with these words. Right on to the real and death to the fakers. Justify your existence or die like a punk. It's a wrap, and I'm out. One.